On episode 68, we're talking about how United Airlines broke our trust, but marketing will save the day. Hey everybody, what's up and welcome to the 88 show. This is the internet's only dental show where we're answering marketing's most important questions. That's what we do right here. My name is Joshua Scott. This is episode number 68. Glad you're here with us. Coming at you from Columbus, Ohio. More accurately, New Albany, Ohio. Got the team here. It's a Monday. Actually got a visitor behind us. Jason is back there. So if you happen to see somebody behind me being a little bit unproductive, it's no problem, no worries. He's actually not on our team. He's just hanging out. So, you getting some things done? Yeah, he is, good. He's got coffee made anyway, so that's good. We had to put a laptop there just to give it the impression. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Episode 68, new topic for the month of May, flying the friendly skies. And we're gonna be talking about a recent incident with United Airlines. It happened a few weeks ago. And you know, if you've been in touch with the news at all or social media the past few weeks, you've probably seen this, United's deplaning of Dr. David Dow, who's a physician from the local Louisville area. And you know, I remember when I first saw the video, it happened on a Sunday. I saw the video Sunday night and was kind of like, whoa, like what is happening? Very disturbing video for sure. We're not gonna put it on here, but I'm sure you can find it online. But what was interesting about this was that happened on a Sunday night. By the time we got to Saturday, SNL is doing a sketch about it. And so from isolated incident to national media attention in 6 days. And I think part of that was because we haven't had a lot of news stories outside of Trump and the presidency this year. I mean, maybe the Patriots winning the Super Bowl and the Oscar Best Picture fiasco, and then this. And so I think it got a lot of media attention. I think it was shocking for sure and disturbing. But at the heart of this whole incident was really, it's a story about trust and how trust was broken, okay? And so catch this, a few weeks ago, I also saw a new poll from an organization called YouGov, which polls about 4 million people online with pop culture type questions. And one of their surveys in the last few weeks was whether or not you trusted online advertising, social media ads specifically. And what was astounding was out of the 4 million people polled, 64% of them said that they trusted social media ads. Okay, so in 2017, right now, 64% of people out there on the whole say that they trust social media ads, which is crazy. Now contrast that to a Gallup poll done this year also, which polled people their trustworthiness with institutions like government and churches and politicians and things like that. And it said trust was at an all-time low, 32%. So on one hand, we've got people, 64% of who trust social media ads, and then 32% trust the institutions of this country. And I think that that's a really interesting play. Americans are trusting advertising right now more than they do news, politics, churches. And I think that that's a really interesting place we live. Now, if you come out of like 1980s, 1990s broadcast television, this is probably a little bit of a stretch for you because you're just used to seeing spam, unsolicited commercials in front of you. If you're living in 2017 and looking at targeted social media ads, then you're like, yeah, this makes perfect sense because those ads, they're targeted to me. Sometimes I feel like the ads in my social media accounts probably know me better than I know myself. Like a pair of jeans comes on, I'm like, oh, I need that. They knew I needed jeans before I even knew that. And so I go to buy them. And that's the type of world that we're living in. And so marketing is less about selling and it's more about connection. And so let's stop and talk about that for a minute, why we trust advertising more. All right, everybody, so let's talk about how marketing can actually build trust. trust, okay? And I've got 4 points here. Number one is to accurately represent your practice. So rule number one on marketing is just don't try to be something you're not. Just focus on what you do best and communicate that. So, to be honest, at the end of last year, towards last fall, kind of coming into the holiday season, I saw this Instagram ad come up, and it was for a leather coat, and it was for, the coat was $59. It looked online, this image was awesome. It was this amazing gray leather coat for 59 bucks, and I thought, wow, that looks awesome. And I actually went ahead and bought it. Which I rarely do, and I realize you're like, what? Why would you do that? But I thought if I could get a coat like that for $59, that's a win. That's a big time score. So I went ahead, I placed the order. It ended up being some type of Kickstarter like project. I think they were waiting for a certain minimum number of orders before they actually produce these things, and it was coming from China, so it ended up taking like 8 weeks, to that point where you're like, where is this thing at? And when it shows up, I got it here. When it shows up, so it's gray, and probably to you there on the screen, it looks nice. It's kind of got this like fake fur lining, but man, it's way less leather and a whole lot more like vinyl. And the stitching and everything it just doesn't look great. The other part of it is I ordered a large, which is normally fine, but I went to put this thing on, so I was like, well, we'll see. And I get it to about right there. And man, I can't go anymore. Right? I would pop the seams, but that's it. That's my large fur, or my large leather coat from Instagram. Actually ended up just boxing it up, putting a bow and a ribbon on it, and gave it to my son for Christmas. And he loves it. But you know what? I completely deserve it. It violated one of my main principles of life, which is if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And what I failed to realize is that there are companies online right now that are literally making, all they're doing is their success is based off of one transaction. That's it. All they needed to do was sell X number of coats. Once they did, it was profitable to them. They made their money, they're out. They don't care about me as a repeat buyer. But creating a business for one transaction versus creating a business for long-term loyal patients are two different things. All right, number two is target a relevant audience. We're coming out of this like 80s, 90s broadcast television where it was just put your commercial in front of as many people as possible. And I think that's even somewhere these data points come in, like impressions and how many people saw your ad. But it's less about broadcast and it's more about targeting. We cannot waste money and, more importantly, people's attention broadcasting stuff that's irrelevant. If we can target people in our communities with a relevant service, now we're creating trust. All right, and number three, we're talking about ways that our marketing can create trust is don't oversell. Man, just don't oversell it. And I think when we think of business as more of like a journey, then we know that we're gonna have multiple touch points along the way. There's gonna be multiple steps. If we kind of freak out and think, I've got one chance, one ad, then the tendency is to shove everything we have into one ad. And in the end, the tone, the voice of it becomes too overreaching, too much. We're overselling it. The other day I got this brochure in the mail. So I'm stepping out of frame a lot here, but so local dental practice, doesn't matter who it is. And this is kind of your normal flyer, brochure, right? I could probably tell you what company produced this, but it was interesting as I'm watching this, as I'm looking at this, just how much they're overselling and they're trying to communicate. Appointments 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. I know some of you are doing Saturdays. They're doing Sundays. We offer patient pickup service. Braces, half the cost, half the time. Eat, chew, and smile naturally again with dental implants. One trusted office for all your dental needs. We love insurance. Free adult whitening, free adult exam, free child cleaning and exam, free second opinion evaluation. Affordable dental care membership for $18.99 a month. I'm not making this up. Literally, there's like bullet points right here of everything. And so in the end, when I see that, it's just like, it's too much. And if you feel like all you have is one shot, you're gonna do something like this. If you feel like your marketing is a journey, it's creating a relationship, well then take people along with that and tell them your story through multiple touch points along the way. All right, and number 4 is have a heart. Have a heart. And I kind of pulled in Southwest Airlines for this one because it's a good contrast with United. But you know, all of Southwest ads right now, I love their advertising. I love that they take this machine that's this big plane and they put a heart on it. And they talk about how it's not just a machine, but it's a machine, but it has a heart, and how they have a heart. And I think that's amazing. And right now, you know, it's very trendy to have a mission-based organization or even have a commerce company or a service-based company that has a mission behind it that's driving it. But I don't think that that's going away. In fact, I think that that's going to become the way we do business. Is there's you as a practice or as an organization, but it's like, what drives you? What do you believe in? What are your values? What can you promise patients or customers? And so I think that whole conversation of what is it that you believe and what can you promise people, that's going to become very, very important. I think it already is. You know, I think United, that's where some of that just broke down is, will we promise to treat people with dignity? Yes, because I'm not sure that happens. And so it's really a lack of humanity. And when we bring the heart back into it, when we bring the beliefs and the promises, and we start to treat people with dignity, those are the businesses that win. And so kind of 4 points from me on how your advertising can actually create trust. All right, guys, that wraps up episode 68. Thanks so much for being here. Question of the episode: how can your marketing create trust? How can your marketing create trust? The link to this month's article is down below, Flying the Friendly Skies. Would love for you to take a look at that. As always, give me your thoughts, let me know. Next episode coming up, episode 69, we're gonna be talking about how we can make promises as a company, you know? So how we make promises as a company, as a practice to our patients and what that means. And last of all, follow me on Instagram, best place to get a hold of me and connect, at Joshua Scott. Follow me there and give me any comments, questions. Guys, thanks so much. We'll see you next episode.